Live. Live. All right, hey everyone, welcome to this week's podcast for Junior Pro Talk. Today we are over at the NFAA headquarters in Yankton, South Dakota. So if you look behind us, there's like the big archery range and everything for like South Dakota Classic and is held here and stuff like that, and NFAA Field Nationals, which we're going to talk about a little bit today. But right now we have Emily B., Roy Green, Will Reaper, Jonathan Clark, and our guest, David Hauser.
How's it going, guys?
All right, so first up, we're going to talk about NFAA Nationals that Roy, me, and Emily are still here in Yankton shooting actually IFAA Worlds now, but last week was NFAA Nationals. So Roy actually just showed up for the Field Worlds. Emily, do you want to talk about Field Nationals a little bit?
Sure. For Field, the layout was you had 5 days that you were able to shoot, but they took one of your best field, one of your best hunter, and you had to shoot the animal round. So we ended up showing up, I think, the second day that they had here to score, and we all ended up doing really good. It was my first hunter round, so it's new for all of us, and I ended up shooting a national record for the animal round and ended up winning somehow. I had no idea what to expect when I showed up, but I had a lot of fun, met a lot of people, and ended up winning the BBQ. So it was a good tournament.
Yeah, I also had a really good weekend. I actually broke a national record again in the young adult division, so that was really sweet. And it was just, I ended up winning too, getting a cereal bowl, a little bit smaller than an adult. So Emily was kind of happy she got a bigger trophy than me. But it was a really good week and really our first experience in the field.
Chris, I want to be like you when I grow up. Can I do that, please?
You can, Jonathan. I'll give you permission. All right, so that's out of the way now, and actually we are here still shooting IFAA Worlds, which is a little bit different.
It's the same target faces. There's just a couple
new
rules,
there's a hunter round, there's a field round, and there's an animal round, but it's considered a world tournament. It's kind of like Vegas where anyone can just show up. I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
For the U.S. it is, but sounds like the other countries, like I was talking to a lady from South Africa, and they made a team, and the team came here for it. Right. So I don't know how it works other places, but there's like 20 countries here.
Yeah, there are quite a few countries, and we had opening ceremonies yesterday.
Yeah.
So, and Roy actually made like a team, right?
Yeah. We came here for the Yankton Advanced Compound Camp or whatever a month ago, and from those group of kids, they picked the 2014 World Field team for the IFAA World Field, and now we're here shooting with you guys,
shooting some bullseyes.
Yeah.
How have you been doing?
Yeah, how have you been doing?
Tomorrow will be the third day here.
Yeah, I've been shooting not how I want to, but I feel like tomorrow's going to be a lot better. I mean, today it rained a lot. I shot all right for the rain. But
yeah, for about the first 14 targets, it was just a complete downpour, and then the sky opened up a little bit and the sun came out.
Yeah, good.
Okay, so Jonathan, you were down, and along with David, but we're going to have Jonathan kind of lead the discussion here, but he was in ASA Worlds, or ASA in Alabama. Can you talk about that a little bit, Jonathan?
Yeah, sure. We went down this past weekend to the ASA Classic in Alabama, and that is what 3D people call the World Tournament, the biggest one of the year, where everybody shows up, and if you're in the run for Shooter of the Year, you have to attend that tournament. And I had a decent weekend. I had a rough first day, but the weather held out. We were afraid we were going to have a bunch of rain. But the weather held out. It stayed pretty clear, and to be honest, it was actually not that hot, considering it's August in Alabama. The high was probably just around 90 degrees, to be honest with you. So that was a blessing. But David is on with us now, and he has won every ASA this year in young adult. So David, what does it feel like to do that?
It was honestly, I wasn't expecting it. I set that goal early this year, and I never honestly thought it was attainable, but just put a lot of good rounds together, used my head a lot, and didn't make as many stupid decisions and managed to come out on top. So it felt pretty good to achieve the goal I set.
Well, that's awesome. So what do you do to tell everybody, because you've won several FIDA tournaments this year too? Do you shoot the same bow for everything? Do you shoot two different bows? How do you go between each organization as far as 3D, indoor, FIDA? What is it? What's your plan of attack pretty much? How do you do that?
Hold on. Before we do that, David, can you tell us a little about yourself? We kind of skipped over that. Can you tell us?
Yeah, definitely.
Just your little background information on your archery career and stuff, and then we can jump into that. But just before we jump in.
All right. So about 2010, 2011, started doing some deer hunting around the house, and then I saw the whole target bows and everything, and that's kind of how I fell into the sport. Just kind of like I said, I really didn't plan on it, never thought I'd be here today. Just started doing some local tournaments and then moved on to the national level. And like I said, the first year was 2011. I started shooting IBOs, won a couple tournaments, and then 2012 I started doing the ASA and the indoor stuff. And like I said, it's all been everything just happened exactly how I feel it should. Everything's fallen in place, so I couldn't be more happy and can't wait for the next few years.
All right, that's awesome, and that's what I wanted for your background information, so that's good. All right, so Jonathan, can you talk about your question again if someone just jumped on with us?
Yeah, for sure. David, what do you do going between, because you've won several FIDAs, you placed in several indoor tournaments this year. I think, did you get second at Vegas, I believe?
Yep.
Yep. Well, that's awesome. How do you go in between each one? What equipment do you use? Do you set up different bows? How does that work out for you?
Yeah, I have multiple bows. I shoot the Hoyt Pro Comp Elite with the spiral cam. I have my indoor bow, which I also shoot for FIDA, and then I have my 3D bow. When I go from a FIDA back to a 3D or whatever, I'll come home and pull through some shots, do some blind bailing for a day or two and do some judging, and then just kind of hop right back into the 3D mix of it. I shoot a really similar setup, draw lengths, identical, same stabilizer sights and everything. So the bows are pretty much identical, just some minor differences, which really helps me jump back and forth without too much trouble.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, as far as the one cool thing that happened this weekend, Levi Morgan broke the record and he won 8. It was his 8th Shooter of the Year championship in the pro class. So that's always something cool when stuff like that happens. Give a shout out to him. And other than that, we had some good weather and it was a fun tournament.
Yeah, I was following on social media and stuff, and it was pretty crazy. Was it Jack Wallace?
It was. Yep.
That kind of surprised a few people here because I wasn't expecting it, but that was really cool for him to come away with that victory. So.
Oh yeah, Jack's a great guy, and that was his first. He's placed in a couple this year, but that was his first win. And the cool thing, he was talking to me on Sunday after we shot, that he has won every single national tournament from IBO to ASA. He's won every one of them at least once, and that was the only one he had left. And I don't remember how long he said it took him to get that. But that was his last one. That was his last goal. So it was cool seeing him excited about that and making that goal. That pretty much dream come true. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is sweet. So I have a question for you, David. So now that this year's kind of over, you just shot Worlds. What do you plan on going into the indoor season? Like, what tournaments are you going to shoot? Are you going to do any equipment changes or anything? Because you're on a hot streak right now, so I don't know if you're going to change anything, or what do you think is going to be new with the David Hauser coming into the indoor?
Nothing too major. I plan on shooting the Indoor World Cup, so I'll be leaving for Thailand here on December 4th, I believe. Then I'm going to shoot Nîmes in Vegas, 3 stages I need to attend. But as far as equipment goes, I'm going to shoot. We'll see what Hoyt has up their sleeve for this year to come out with, and I'm sure I'll be shooting the new bow. But like I said, I'm sure that I won't change too much because, like you said, everything's been going pretty good, so I don't want to change anything drastic. That's for sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't be doing any major changes with your hot streak going right now.
I wouldn't say you should be either after the record you just shot.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. Back in I forget who it was, but it was in 2006 that that record was set. So that was
I
really
think it was James Marlowe previously had it.
Marlowe. Yep, it was Marlowe. So kudos to him. Sorry I broke your record, but it was my last year at it, last tournament, as because I'm 17 and the cutoff 17. So it was a good first hurrah and last hurrah in the youth.
Not to shine.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna have Willie Reaper talk a little bit, and he has a question from a viewer that he would like to answer.
So Mitchell Payman sent us or shot us a message on Facebook asking a question about something regarding how much Matthew Weinstein trains every week. And we told him about 250 hours a day, fluctuating, you know. But he was saying that he was getting fatigued and his form was getting sloppy when he was actually trying to do that, because he wants to set his form to where it's very consistent and all. But he's saying usually the day after he shoots the 250 arrows, he's very fatigued. And what you have to do is you have to condition your body in order to shoot that many arrows each week and each day. So if you're wanting to build up to that, then you really need to start shooting a little bit over your average and just slowly dock that number of arrows up each day as you go. And of course you need to take some breaks. So, but that's to answer your question, Mitchell.
Yeah, that's awesome. I agree with that. It's not good just to jump into 250 arrows or, you know, just a ton of arrows right off the bat, because the next day or the next week you're going to be really fatigued. So if you shoot 50 arrows a day, maybe the next day shoot 60, next day shoot 70, eventually work your way up to the hundreds. You know, if you're preparing for like outdoor national FIDA stuff where you're shooting 72 arrows a day, all day, or even 144 if you shoot a full FIDA. So it's always good to work your way up, not strain yourself, and baby steps.
Yeah, and for sure before tournaments, kind of ease yourself into it, because I know when we first started to do it, I would ruin myself practice day when we got there because I wouldn't shoot traveling day. And when I got to practice day, I felt I needed to shoot like 2 or 3 games, and then I'd be totally sore and fatigued for the next day. So make sure you watch your limits. It's okay if you can't shoot 300 arrows a day if that's not your limit. Do what's comfortable.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yep. All right, well, I think that's all we got for today. Next week, we're going to talk about how it's important to have a coach and to have a consistent coach.
Mm-hmm.
I actually got that from a tip.
Good, consistent coach.
Yeah, like, you know, my coach, Jim Morrow at MJC Archery in Michigan, or down in Georgia at the Archery Learning Center, George Riles. Or do you have a specific coach that you use, David? David? Oh, he just left or something. All right, anyways, well, next week we're going to talk about how it's important just to have a consistent coach. So make sure to stop in next week if you have any questions about that. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks.